Hello and welcome to this week's Crafting with the Desmond Fish Public Library. I'm Beth and today I'm going to show you how to make an infinity card, which is a really neat card that is never ending. I'm going to show you an example. Here's one I made earlier to celebrate springtime and growing things. I did it of carrots. I love carrots. So here there's a seed. I fold the card back. There's a sprout. I fold it up, there's a little baby carrot, I fold it again, and it's full grown. And if I fold it again, we're back to the beginning. And that's why it's called an infinity card, because it can just keep going and going and going. And it's really neat and a lot of fun to fold around and play with, and very versatile, and it's actually way simpler than it looks. So I'm going to take you through the steps. You are going to need scissors or an X-Acto knife, a glue stick, a pencil, and a ruler. I also have this mat that has a ruler on it, which I like. And you're going to need 4 pieces of paper that are the same size and are slightly heavier weight. I have here 4 index cards that are blank on both sides. So this is the paper I'm going to use. The next important thing is you have to make sure that your paper is twice as long as it is wide. So I'm going to have to trim these because these are 3 by 5, so that doesn't work. So I'm going to trim them down so that they're 2 by 4. So I'm going to line it up on my mat. I'm going to use my ruler. I'm going to use my pencil. And I'm going to draw a line down. Now what I'm going to do, because I really want all of these pieces to be the exact same size, is I'm going to stack them all with the one with the line on top, and I'm going to cut them all at once, like that. Okay, now to trim the other side, because I want this to be 2 by 4. That way it is double in length than it is in width. It also makes it easier to tell where we're going to put our folds. So we're going to pre-fold it. So now I have 4 pieces of card, all the same size, twice as long as they are wide. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to score them so that they'll fold nicely later on. And I need to score it at the 1 inch and the 3 inch. I want it so that the 2 sides can fold in towards the middle, like that. But I want it to be very precise, so I'm actually going to measure it and then score it so that I get nice, precise folds. So if you don't have a mat, you could measure over 1 inch top and bottom and connect the dots. Because I have this nice mat, it makes it much easier. I can make sure my ruler is straight. And I'm going to make a line at 1 inch and a line at 3 inches. And I'm going to do this on all of them, so that I have a line at 1 inch and a line at 3 inches. Unlike past crafts that I've shown you, this one does need to be exact, and this one works better the more precise you are. So now I have my pieces marked. So next I'm going to score them. You can use a bone folder if you have one. If you don't, you can just use a pair of scissors. What you do is you could open it up, and instead of using the blade, you use the back. Because we're not cutting through the paper, we're just making a score mark that it will fold along nicely. I like having a ruler to follow because I have a hard time with straight lines. So I'm going to pull this back so you can see. I have my ruler along my line. I'm going to take my scissors, the not sharp side, and I'm going to press down and pull it towards me. And I'm going to do both of my lines like this. Now, I'm not sure if you'll actually be able to see this or not, but there now are creases in there. And this makes it so that when I fold it, it folds in a nice, exact, straight line. And that it folds nicely in both directions. So I'm now going to do this to my other 3 pieces of paper. Okay, now that I have finished and all my pieces of card have been folded in and back, I'm going to mark off where I'm going to put the glue. So let me just tilt this forward so you can see what I'm doing. I am going to make a square over here. So I'm taking 1 inch by 1 inch, and I am just going to mark it so that I can see it. And this is going to give me a visual guide of where my glue is going to go. And I'm just going to do one end on all of them. Okay, so now I have it marked, and the line combined with the fold makes me this square here. And the squares are going to guide me where my glue is going to go. Which, now that it comes to it, I realize I'm going to need them on both sides. So I'm going to finish my squares. So that I have a line there, and I'm going to put a line here, so I have squares on the end here. Okay, I've marked my corners, and now I'm going to show you the part you actually glue. I'm going to put 2 on the table in front of me, and I want them to form a square. Now, eventually, I'm going to take the other 2 and put them on top. And the important thing is, one set goes this way, and then the other set goes this way. So one, you want the line going across. The other, you want the line to be vertical. Now, you're going to put glue in 4 spots. You are going to do your 4 outer corners. So this box that I made here, I'm going to put glue there. This box that I made here, this box, and this box. that is where I'm going to put glue. And I drew boxes because I want to make sure glue goes nowhere else, because I do not want bits to stick together that I don't want to stick together. So I'm going to take my glue stick and I am going to carefully put glue only where I marked an X. So now I have glue on my 4 corners, on my 4 X's. I'm going to keep my hand. I'm going to line them up nicely, as nice as I can. And then I'm going to keep one hand here so they don't move. And with my other hand, I'm going to place the other 2 on top. I want them to fit right directly over. Like that. And then I'm going to press down. Now. And the nice thing about a glue stick is before it all the way dries, it's still a little bit shiftable, so I can neaten it up. And I'm going to press down hard. So now I have something that looks like this on one side and this on the other. Now I'm going to give mine about 3 minutes or so to dry before I actually start folding it up, because it will be stronger and work better if I wait a bit. So I have given mine a little bit of time to dry, and now I'm going to do the first folds. I'm going to open it up. I'm going to allow, and then it's going to fold along where I marked before, and I'm going to fold it down flat. Now sometimes I won't want to because you have a bit of overlap, and we're going to have to trim that off. And then I'm going to close it up again. And then I'm going to flip it. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to open it up away from its middle, and lay it down flat. And that is just reinforcing all of the folds. And now that I've done that, that is all there is to it. If I now open it, I can keep going opening it, and it will open along my other folds. Yeah, see, and this is a troubleshooting thing you might find. There's a little bit of an overlap here, which is making it difficult for the fold. So when I fold it back out, I know that this edge is giving me trouble. So I am going to trim that edge just a little. I'm going to take a smidge off it. And often it doesn't take much. I can see it's still catching. There we go. Now it is folding smoother. And what really makes the magic come alive is when you actually write something on it. And you've got 4 different surfaces to write on. So I am going to grab myself a pen. And I'm just going to write 4 words. So if I write craft, And this might actually be backwards for you. And then I'm going to open it, and this is my next surface. And this is the important part. Although you're on the next one. This next one, when I open it, you still see some of it. It shares it, so I still have a bit of a Y here. So what you can do is make sure that whatever you have on your edges here is something you also want on your next page. So this one's going to be a little bit sloppy, but it's just a demo. And what I now have is craft your heart out. And that just repeats over and over and over to infinity and beyond. So for those of you who are going to want to decorate it, it's just fun to keep folding it. The important things to know. Your very first side will show up nowhere else. Go crazy. Your very last side, this is what it looks like if you flop it. You can see it's folded opposite. If you like that. Shows up nowhere else. Go crazy. But if you're like me and you want it to look nice and neat, when it comes to this, remember that some of this is shared. So I made sure that my line here corresponded nicely to the line here, because this bit and this bit is still seen in my third position. So just remember that your second position and your third position share these two edges. So anything you want to be unique is going to have to be in this middle section here and here. So you can just do a decoration that makes sense for both of those scenes. And then you see my last scene is its own thing. And then we are back at the very beginning again. And that's it, folks. That is how you make an infinity card. There are lots of fun, and there are so many different things you can do with one once you've made it. I hope you've enjoyed this, and we will post a new video next Thursday. Stay safe, everyone.